Crimson Desert drops March 19th, and after years of delays and development pivots, Pearl Abyss is finally ready to show us what they've been cooking. But with a $60 price tag and some mixed reactions to their previous games, should you actually put your money down on this one? I've been diving deep into all the previews, trailers, and hands-on footage from creators who got early access, and today I'm breaking down everything you need to know before you hit that buy button. Some of this stuff genuinely impressed me, while other parts, well, let's just say I have some concerns. Let's start with what immediately grabbed my attention. This world is absolutely massive. We're talking about 5 distinct regions that feel completely different from each other. You've got the frozen mountains of Hernand, where you're dealing with harsh weather and dangerous wildlife. Then you can seamlessly travel to the political intrigue of Domenis, where every conversation could be a trap. Or head south to the tech-advanced cities of Delesia, where mechs and magic coexist. What really impressed me in the footage is how natural the transitions feel between these areas. There's no loading screens, no artificial barriers. You can literally see a mountain in the distance and just go there. The verticality is insane too. You're not just running across flat terrain. You're climbing massive cliffs, gliding between floating islands, and diving into underground cave systems that stretch for miles. But here's where I start to worry a bit. We've seen this before with other open-world games that promise everything, but deliver a world that feels empty once the novelty wears off. The question isn't whether Crimson Desert's world is big, it's whether it's actually interesting to explore. What's really cool is how the combat adapts to different situations. Fighting on horseback, the animations completely change. Piloting a mech, totally different moveset. Taking on a massive boss, the game gives you environmental tools and weak points to exploit. It's not just button mashing, there's depth here, but it's the kind of depth that feels rewarding rather than punishing. Now, the combat system is where things get really spicy. And honestly, this might be the game's biggest selling point. If you've been burned by stamina-heavy, punishing combat systems in other games, Crimson Desert is taking a completely different approach. This is fast, fluid, and honestly just fun to watch. I've seen Cliff grab enemies and literally suplex them into the ground, then immediately chain that into a combo that launches another enemy into the air. The fighting feels more like a martial arts movie than a typical RPG. You've got grappling, throwing, elemental magic that you can weave into combos, and the whole thing flows together seamlessly. The character variety is something I wasn't expecting. Sure, Cliff is the main character we've seen in most of the marketing, but you're also getting this female warrior with a massive claymore who fights completely differently, plus this tank character with a mechanical arm cannon. Each one has their own skill trees, their own combat style, and from what I can tell, their own storylines that weave into the main narrative. This isn't just cosmetic either. These characters genuinely play differently. The Claymore fighter is all about timing and heavy hits, while the tank character can literally wade into groups of enemies and come out victorious through sheer durability. Here's something that caught me off guard. The daily life elements actually look good? Usually when games try to do everything, these peaceful activities feel tacked on. But watching someone fish in the early morning light, then transition into helping rebuild a village, then getting into a bar fight that escalates into a full street brawl, it all felt organic. You can farm, cook, gamble, even pickpocket if you're feeling risky. Though be warned, there's apparently a bounty system that'll come after you if you push your luck too far. What I like is that these aren't just time wasters. They tie into your character progression and the world's economy. The traversal system deserves special mention because it's borderline ridiculous in the best way. You can tame wild horses and actually drift them around corners like you're in Fast and Furious. There are dragons you can ride that handle completely differently from horses. In the desert regions, you get these raptor mounts that can climb walls. But it's not just about looking cool. Each mount type opens up different areas of the world. Some caves can only be accessed with specific creatures. Some aerial passages need the dragon, and certain story moments actually require you to have built relationships with particular mounts. The story setup has me genuinely intrigued. This isn't your typical chosen one saves the world narrative. Cliff and his Greymane clan got absolutely destroyed in an ambush, and now you're basically starting from nothing, trying to rebuild while dealing with the political mess that caused the attack in the first place. What I appreciate is that this feels personal. You're not saving the universe. You're trying to restore your family's honor while navigating a world where everyone has their own agenda. The supernatural elements are there, but they feel grounded in the world's politics and history, rather than just being thrown in for spectacle. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room. This is Pearl Abyss, and if you've played Black Desert Online, you know they have a complicated relationship with monetization and game balance. The good news is that Crimson Desert is a single-player experience, so we shouldn't see the pay-to-win mechanics that plagued their MMO. However, there are still some question marks. The game has been delayed multiple times, which could mean they're polishing it to perfection, or it could mean they're struggling with core systems. The combat looks amazing in trailers, but how does it feel after 20 hours? Does the open world stay interesting, or does it become a checklist of repetitive tasks? The other concern is scope. This game is trying to be everything: action RPG, life sim, political thriller, monster hunter, mech pilot simulator. That's incredibly ambitious, but it's also exactly the kind of thing that can lead to a jack-of-all-trades, master-of-none situation. So should you buy Crimson Desert on March 19th? Here's my take. If you're someone who loves getting lost in massive open worlds, and you're excited by the idea of combat that prioritizes fun over punishment, this could be exactly what you're looking for. The production values look incredible. The world design is genuinely impressive, and the combat system seems like it could be addictive in the best way. But if you're someone who prefers more focused experiences, or if you're worried about Pearl Abyss's track record, it might be worth waiting for reviews and patches. There's no shame in seeing how the community reacts before dropping your money. Personally, I'm cautiously optimistic. This looks like it could be a surprise hit, but I've been burned by ambitious open-world games before. I'll definitely be covering this extensively when it launches, so make sure you're subscribed for the full review. What do you think? Are you planning to buy Crimson Desert day one, or are you waiting to see how it turns out? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one.
Playable memory.